dangerous. And yet, as it goes today, it was probably a lot safer then than it is now.
So,
My parents were the same way. We were kept pretty much on this property, and of course there was a lot of work to do too.
but I imagine you had your share of play. I mean, you did your fishing probably and that sort of thing, hunting
And swimming
and
every
swimming.
day, every single day. And my mom was, she kept us busy. She would, in the wintertime, would take us out with a sled and maybe some kindling and matches and maybe some soup and hot chocolate. And we'd sled somewhere,
That's neat.
and then in the summertime it was berry picking, and she always made it fun. Picnics and so forth. And occasionally she would take us up to Lake Superior, to the Lake of the Clouds.
It's quite a trip in those days, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
Sounds very familiar. Going up to Lake Superior was the event of the summer.
Yes.
And how old were you when your father died?
I had just turned 19.
19. I figure it was close to 20. You know that Carl is a real life hero. When his father died, they were driving a tractor on the lake, and the tractor cracked through the ice, and Carl
Awful.
dove in to try to rescue his dad. And was that in spring, Carl, or?
It was January 29th.
I
In
should have
fact,
been safe.
my birthday is on the 27th, so it was 2 days after.
2 days after your 19th birthday.
That was on Oxbow Lake, was it?
No, it was on a little lake that we owned, Upper Amer.
Oh, I always thought it was on
There was a
Upper Amer.
pine tree that was 48 inches on the stump, and it had been hit by lightning, and so we figured it wasn't going to live anyway, and it was a salvage project, and I wanted to be there when it was cut and dragged across the lake. And so I had plowed the ice for 3 weeks at Christmas with a small Jeep, and we proceeded to take the tree down and drag it across the lake. And there was a spot on our ice road that had water on it, and I guess neither one of us knew enough that the weight of the snow on the ice had created enough pressure where the water came up, so we went around the water, and as soon as we started going around it, the machine went through, and saw my dad getting off, and he never came up. And so I dove in, and whatever I was looking for, I don't even know. I mean, you think you may feel them, you know.
Something.
And I came up, and then I went down again, and I came up a third time, and the man that was logging there at the time, his name is Clarence Allen. He's from Marinesco. He's the real hero, because I said, I'm going in, and he said, okay, but you gotta hang on to this cable. Well, I went in the third time, and when I came up, if he hadn't have been there, I wouldn't be here
You would have
today,
been gone too.
because I was almost paralyzed from cold.
Well, January,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so he dragged me out and told me to run for the Jeep and create, I suppose, body movement, and that was it. And it was a long effort to find my dad, but it took like I don't know if it was 2 or 3 days. And finally our local game warden was the one that really was the one that devised a method to find him. He made like a T with pipes and that, and a lot of treble hooks on it. We would run it down a small 6-inch hole and turn it with a pipe wrench, and this T was stretched out, and finally it snagged something, and there were divers there, and they went down and found him.
This was in 1961 then?
1964.
64. Tremendous. But then your whole family still stayed up here then? Your mother didn't leave?
No,
She stayed.
Yeah, Mom hung on to it.
It was a tremendous, um,
You're really
Thing to
rooted
keep
to
up
the
that.
land.
very much.
Well,
so.
it was home to her,
Yeah.
and the one thing I can feel good about both my parents' deaths is that they died on their own property.
Yeah.
Mom died in the
wonderful.
home that she loved, and not too many years ago, she lived there some 40 years after my dad died.
And your dad died doing what he was
Right.
what he was doing.
What he liked
Mhm.
the best, he died on the property.
He is always spoken of as a very hardworking man. I mean, he made his living on the, in the machine shop, but also then up here, he did a lot of work, logging. Did he do any logging on your property?
You know,
Not much?
physically doing the logging, no,
No, okay,
but there was always some logging
yeah.
efforts
Planning
to
it.
help pay the taxes and that. He would either hire guys like this Clarence Allen or Dick Spaeth, sometimes other people.
So then, did your sisters left this area, but you stayed and you,
Well, at the time I was going to college in Milwaukee, and so my one sister had one more year. Actually, she only had another semester to finish, and rather than her dropping out and staying with Mom, I did, and
you came home then?
I stayed home for the next 7 or 8 months, and then I went up to the community college in Ironwood for 2 years, and I went to Madison for 1 year, and then I finished in northern Michigan at Marquette with a degree in political science, of all things, you know.
Interesting.
That basket weaving, you go a long way.
I know what you mean. So political sense.
Did you ever then, after you had that degree, did you have a feeling you wanted to go someplace and
Well,
use that degree in some other way, or were you felt tied here?
no, but I loved it up here. I always wanted to come back, and if there was any way that I could, I would. But I did start out in industry, and I worked for a company that manufactured snowmobiles and garden tractors. It was a subsidiary of Massey Ferguson,
Okay.
and it was just south of Green Bay. I worked for them for a couple years, and then there were 30 salaried people that got laid off, and I was on unemployment for a period of time, and then I thought, I've got to do something, and I thought I could come up here for the summer and do something, you know. I had 2 stepchildren at the time, so I came up and I asked this man, his name was Acre Palmer, and he was here a long time. Wanted a summer job, and he said, well, I can't hire you because I don't want to make that much money. I'm on Social Security. Excuse me. But he said, I'll sell it to you. Well, I didn't really have any money.
Right.
But I got
Problem.
to thinking about it, you know, and he made a deal that really, as you say, you can't resist. So I had a house down in Wrightstown, Wisconsin, and well, eventually we sold that and used it for down payment, and I only made one payment to him a year, and that was in August, after I had about a half of summer already under my belt each year. And so I would save up all the money I could possibly save up to make the payment. And then in the wintertime, I would work for the town plowing snow. I ran their motor grader. I did that for 7 years, and then eventually I thought I should run for town chairman. So I didn't make it a career like my dad did. I ran twice, and I was elected the second time. There was no opposition. But then I had a young son that would holler when I left at night, and he'd say, Daddy, Daddy, don't go. And that was it. There
So
was
you did that for, what, 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
Which years were those, Carl? you remember?
1978 to, well,
Because I remember
You
you
know,
were town chairman.
78 to 81 or
Yeah,
82, I don't know
probably.
how it fell, but it was 4 years.
Yeah, I remember. I came up here, bought the resort in '79, and you were chairman then, I think.
What was going on during those years that you remember? What was happening in town politics then? And like, was there anything big? I know nothing big going on then.
I
Yeah.
didn't do
Little
anything
things.
spectacular, no, I used to say, we're only here to steer the ship.
Mhm.
And I figured I steered the ship for 4 years.
It wasn't a period of big changes then.
I can't remember any, can you, Peggy?
Well, it was still largely a resort community. A lot of people in the summer, not that many in the winter.
Right.
And
And we always looked at zoning.
right.
We did a few things with zoning. We tried to eliminate.
Yeah, that was the first comprehensive zoning
Yeah.
when you were in office in '79, I believe. Yeah.
We tried to eliminate some
together.
pie shape lake lots. We put a moratorium on holding tanks at the time. It was really my feeling that all of the lake properties should not be developed, and if we could put a moratorium on holding tanks, we could probably hold that down.
It's been my observation that there are more abuses with holding tanks than any other thing.
We felt that way. I don't know if there are or not. There aren't. I think a lot of people are trying to do right.
Yeah, I think by and large that's true.
We used to think they
see
would be
too many.
pumping their own tank and.
Yeah, maybe in the early years when the population was thinner and you really didn't have that many folks around here, someone who didn't have much resources or whatnot, couldn't really afford anything, and might have been desperate to do something like that. But I think there's an awareness today of how dangerous that can be for for the ground, and with more people. My husband. My husband worked for the sanitary district in Chicago, and he always said, the solution to pollution is dilution. So when you didn't have that many people around, you can do things on the land, but now it's a different story. So I think during those years, Carol, you saw more people coming up, and the resort communities, some of them being closed for development and that sort of thing, more second homeowners coming into the area, land being split up, that sort of thing. But the business you developed then was basically you did grading and road building.
The man I bought from
Yeah,
pretty
acres,
much at his age was just selling gravel. He had
okay.
done some bulldozing before that, but he basically just sold gravel and sand. Like that. I've built it somewhat, not as fast as some other companies have done, but good living.
Yeah.
And my son is probably going to be taking over soon.
So he stayed in the area.
My son,
Uh-huh.
he was gone for a period of time. He went to a technical school and he became a diesel mechanic. And since he's been around me, he's worked for me, and he's an excellent operator.
Guess in the business you're in, you have to fix them too, right?
Yes.
You don't only run them, you have to fix them. You can't call it. Take it to the shop. Really.
The town and the area, I guess.
I would like to